Dibs, we're still on LeBron watch.
Right, LeBron watch. And, I mean, all eyes on LeBron, but he's in Puerto Rico with Draymond Green, and you could take that as a, wow, LeBron's coming here, or the new rumor, and I was saying this to the guys on the Fan in Cleveland earlier, like maybe he winds up in Cleveland with LeBron. If you want to talk about the most shocking outcomes to this, for me, the most shocking outcome would be LeBron and Draymond in Cleveland. The second most shocking would be LeBron here with Draymond and Steph. And then maybe the third most shocking would be LeBron just is in Cleveland and Draymond's here. Of the LeBron, Draymond possible machinations.
Could you imagine if that were to happen? Draymond joins LeBron in Cleveland and leaves his Warrior history behind.
Especially if it goes, because he's a free agent right now.
Yeah, he opted out of his $27, almost $28 million.
Right, so Draymond Green, that would be the ultimate heel turn. He opts out ostensibly because he wants to create room for them to get LeBron and or others. And so, he and LeBron start hanging out, and LeBron says, you know what, you opted out. Here's an idea. How about you and I go to Cleveland? Yeah. You're a free agent, and so am I. That, to me, would be an unbelievable heel turn, to use a wrestling term, for Draymond Green.
It really would be. It would be crazy. We're going to get to that. There is some sound from Brian Windhorst and a whole lot more. We will dive into that coming up in a little bit. But I figure we got Pajemski coming up. Brandon Pajemski going to join us here on Willard and Dibs in 12 minutes at 2:30. Let's just talk about Yaxel Lendeborg for a little bit, Dibs, because that's going to be one of the first things we ask Pods when he joins us again. We will talk Falcons with Pods, as we always do, but who better to ask about how Yaxel Lendeborg looks early in his rookie summer than Brandon Pajemski, who was there courtside. He was on the ESPN broadcast of the game last night. We'll ask Pods about Yaxel. 21 points last night, Dibs. He was 8 of 13 from the field, made 2 of his 4 threes, had 10 boards and 6 assists in 28 minutes as the Warriors knocked off the Mavericks in their Summer League opener. He looks like a man amongst boys in the Summer League, which I guess is kind of what you expect for a guy that's going to be 24 years old soon and is clearly as built physically as he is. But there's been nothing but great signs so far from Yax.
No doubt. And I'm leaning toward Yaxel Cyborg as his nickname because he just goes out there and robotically dominates at, 24, or he's about to be 24. And he already looks like somebody who not only belongs, but, and again, this is Summer League. This is not yet actual NBA games, but the way he's going about it, he shoots the 3 when he's open. He'll hit a step-back 3. He rebounds. He defends. He can ball handle a bit. He can pass. He looks to be like everything that we all thought he'd be cracked up to be.
Yeah, so Warrior fans, I don't want to go too crazy and react too much to this guy playing, and we've seen him play in 3 games now, 2 games in the California Classic version of Summer League, and then last night to kick off Las Vegas Summer League. But how you feeling, Warrior fans, about Yaxel? Because it has been better than I think a lot of us were expecting. I think you should expect him to be good, considering, again, his age and what he did last year at Michigan and his size and his strength and his athleticism. But how you feeling? 888-957-9570. You feel better about him than when they drafted him. And I think the biggest thing for me from Yaxel is the way that he passed. This guy, Dibs, I think we know who he is physically. We know who he is as a rebounder. We've seen that, and I think that's very clearly going to translate. One of my biggest things and my most important attributes for young players is the feel for the game and how they see the game, and just his passing that I saw. He clearly has a great feel for the game. And, 6 assists in that one last night. Again, we don't need to go through every single assist and say, well, he had the right read here, but he could have found that guy maybe in this play or whatever. Just the fact that you watch him play, you can tell he's got a sense where everybody is on the court at all times. He knows where the right pass is. He doesn't, press too much. He's not going down the court to jack up a shot on a certain possession. He's letting the game come to him. I've been impressed just with his general feel for the game, and I see that mostly come through in his passing.
No doubt, and also I think you mentioned court awareness, and that certainly is a part of it. And again, it's super early, and it's not that early when you think about his journey, which was 6 years of college basketball, 3 in the JUCO, and then 3 at 2 different schools. But you look at how long he's actually been playing basketball, and it hasn't been that long because in high school he played as a freshman, and then he was ineligible basically for the next couple of years and was able to fight his way back and then go to JUCO. And so he doesn't have one of these classic, like, long runs of being a basketball player, but he's got the athleticism. He's clearly somebody who is aware of spacing and, what he needs to do. And he out there, it's easy to say he's a man among boys because a lot of the guys he's playing with are
boys,
are, younger as boys. They're all our boys. But, Yaxel's a guy who is showing that he is up to the hype and the hype of being, a great player at Michigan, won the Natty, and now you're the 11th pick.
Yeah, well, Bonte was talking about tweeting something out and getting pushback, and that's just the what happens on social media in these days. But he tweeted out what? Dembele and Mbappe are the Kobe and Shaq of soccer, and if you don't know the France soccer team, they're the best team in the world, and they're led by Kylian Mbappe, and Dembele is an amazing sidekick. And it's a relatively fair comparison, but Bonte got a lot of hate, or at least a lot of pushback on it. I tweeted out something from Yaxel last night, and it was just kind of what we're talking about, how impressed I've been. And I said, he's looking like a man amongst boys, but as you were saying, as he should, because he's almost 24 years old and physically built, playing against a lot of, 19-year-olds or dudes that aren't going to be NBA players at any point in their career. So this is how it should look at this point. And I basically said it probably won't be as much of a strength of his when he gets into the NBA, but he's still big and strong and quick enough to where I think his physicality should still be a strength. But even me, Dibs, just saying it probably won't be as impressive physically when he's playing in the NBA as it looks right now. Even that got me some pushback. That's just the nature of fandom in 2026.
The nature of social media. It's easy to just fire off on somebody.
Can't say anything bad about. Right. And that's not even bad. It's just it won't be as big of a strength in the NBA as it is here.
Because if you want to go through every single roster, do they have a guy who is 6'8", 6'9", and 240 who plays the wing? And I would bet that virtually every single team has a guy.
And he'll be playing probably a lot of 4 versus 3 too. So
depending on where Draymond Green winds up, which is kind of the new funny thing. And he can play 3, he can play 4. I don't know if he's going to be ready as a rook to play 5 and guard some of the bigs that are in the Western Conference. But you're going to go up against every single team is going to have a guy kind of similar to him in build, in skill set, and they're all going to be, most of them, even more grown man than he is.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I've been really impressed with Yaxel Lendeborg, and I wonder if there are Warrior fans out there who feel like, and we're on this LeBron watch stuff, and the chase for LeBron has just gotten so ridiculous with everything.
Voice memos.
Oh my God, the voice memos. We reacted to that in real time yesterday. You and I both listened to it together for the first time on the show, and I don't think it really struck me how crazy that was. We'll talk about that again. We got to hit a break here in a couple of minutes, and then we're getting Brendan Pajemski on live from Vegas to talk about the Valks and talk about Yaxel and Warrior Summer League and everything else going on. But it's just so insane, everything that's going on with the chase for LeBron. I wonder if there are Warrior fans out there, Dibs, that are maybe a little tired of all the LeBron stuff and are just like, you know what? It's all right if we don't get him. I'm excited about Yaxel. Play him at the 3, the 4 every single game, 35 minutes a night, and let's just see where we go from there. I wonder if there are Warrior fans who are just intrigued by what they've seen so far that are like, you know what? At least we got Yaxel. We're in an okay spot.
I do think that there are those fans, and I actually was mentioning to the fan in Cleveland, I did my little spot with them today.
Whoop.
I didn't name check you, but I'm like, yeah, my partner today, he was filling in for my regular partner, he's kind of done with this. And I even shared, not word for word what you said on our show thread, but you're kind of basically bleeping done with this whole thing, because they were asking me what are fans out there saying? I'm like, some of them are just enough is enough. Yeah. And I'm kind of a little bit in both camps because I'm just fascinated by this whole thing, and every day is a new little twist to the story.
Yeah,